New paragraph.
Verse 15. Now at the feast, it's like now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would, and they had then a noble prisoner called Barabbas.
A notable.
It's like a
I
notable.
was say a noble
No,
person.
that's a demon. A notable prisoner called Barabbas.
Right. So from verse 15 to 24, he's gonna barter with the people
Mm-hmm.
and try to say, "Hey, look, I got this dude that deserves death, and I
Murder.
got this innocent guy who you just want to kill."
Right.
You know, it's like, what's wrong with our people, man? You know, what's wrong? What's wrong with our
What's
people?
wrong with that? People?
God. Right. So that's what's going on with the bartering. Okay. So then, verse 25 and 26 is another small key point. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and on our children.
Right, now this is the character of Israel in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They said, let his blood be on them and on their children. Why? Why are they saying that? It's a holy week.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole week is holy. You just had the Passover at night.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in the day, right? Which, when the evening comes, that day is going to be over, right? But now you're in the day, and you want that blood on you. They want this blood on them, man. So they really don't give a shit about the law,
About righteousness.
about righteousness. You know, our people. That's why they deserve death. That's why everyone gets on these 2/3, or everyone in GMS anyway. You know,
Right.
because really you got the Juice Club. They don't really get on. They don't condemn anybody. They tell faggots, like Antoine Dotson, you got to get right.
Right.
And then go join Johanna, or you come over here after we told you to get right. Well, they'll kill you.
That's crazy.
Because they're all about the law over there.
Hey, another thing too, like the scriptures say it's better, like Yahushua even said it's better to do good on the Sabbath than wickedness. You know?
Right.
So that lets you know how wicked our people is, because they actually wanted to see a righteous man be put to death and let a murderer go free, man.
Yep.
You
So
know?
they freed the wicked. And the scripture says, whoever justifieth the wicked,
Right.
you're wicked, man.
Right,
You're in the
right.
same boat as them. Right. Okay. So let's go ahead and read verse 26.
Verse 26. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified.
Right. After he whipped him, then he delivered him to be crucified. So they let the murderer go, the pedophile. In this world,
Right.
the pedophile, they let him go, but the man who didn't do nothing wrong, they said, oh, he looked like that guy. That's that guy. Let's pin let's pin 9/11 on this dude,
Right.
in a sense. All right, or he was just a black man that was tall, and he had a lined up beard with diamond studs. Man, that could be any Jake, man.
Right.
Any typical Jake out there. That's like, well, damn, find the first black guy and beat him. Well, this is Rodney King, this guy, right? Okay, so let's jump down to verse 27. We'll just read that verse. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews."
Right. So all the way down to verse 34, they're just mocking him.
That's, man.
That's fucked up, man. They put a robe on him. Like they James Browned him.
Right.
There he is. He just whooped him. He come out. He put the coat on him, right? And they put a crown of thorns on him, and they're mocking him, man. They're just making a mockery of it, man.
That's Esau for you, man.
Yeah, and they did that to James Brown too, because he'd be dog ass tired, right? But it was all a show. It was a spectacle. But he's fucking tired, man. You see him as he got older. His just hands, feet swollen. He just looks like a piece of sloppy roast beef.
He looked like a.
But he was an entertainer. I'll say that.
He looked like a recovered Emmett Tills
Yeah, he looked like a recovered Emmett Till, man.
after the swelling.
Right. After the swelling went down.
And that dude that put his head in the.
Right in the wrestling match. Yeah, that's terrible. But what? So we're establishing the timeline. Look, he was with his disciples the day of preparation, the night he held the Passover. From there, he got taken to the wicked Israelites. Now, it's in the morning time. He got delivered unto Pilate. Now it's in the afternoon. So really he hasn't even had any sleep either, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool thing about his disciples. They got a couple hours of sleep,
Right.
right? And then he told them, hey, when they come to smite the shepherd, the sheep shall scatter, man. So no one's around him. He's by himself. He didn't get no sleep. There's some messed up things going on. Okay, let's get verse 35.
Verse 35. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots,
Right?
that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots.
Yep.
And sitting down, they watched him. They watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, "This Yahushua, the King of the Jews."
So what was he accused of? His crime and his accusation was what? That he was the king of the Jews, of Israel. That he was the king of Israel. That's why they
Which
killed
ain't
him.
even a crime.
Which that's not a crime, but it was a crime to the wicked elders because they said that he blasphemed the Spirit, which that was a lie. He didn't blaspheme. He didn't blaspheme the Spirit. So why you get these people that get into these churches and they come out to the street and tell us, they go to the various camps and say, I'm Jesus. Why aren't these guys being put to death? I'm sure you got some preacher or pastor out there who's talking crazy and reckless like, I'm Jesus or something
Hey,
crazy.
Eddie Longstrong. They labeled him king of them rats, them Jewish rats. Labeled him king of the Jews. That's blasphemy.
Yeah, why kill him?
Right.
You see, because you guys are some assholes, man.
But 14th Street dude,
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to say nothing about that, man.
Nah, they don't talk about the taboo topics. All right, so let's jump down to verse 45 and get some more points. Now we're gonna get back into these words in the Greek.
Verse 45. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour.
Okay, the 6th hour is noon,
Mm-hmm.
and the 9th hour is roughly 3 o'clock. 3 hours later after noon. Okay, so let's get that Greek 1766. Okay, where's the Greek start? Greek 1766. Okay, and that was from Matthew's. Let's see if it's what was that? Matthew's 27 and 46, 45, right? It says now from the 6th hour, right? Everyone can see that there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. The 9th hour tells you here corresponds to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. For the 6th hour of the Jews coincides with the 12th, which is noon of the day, as divided by hour. The hour here is Western or Hebrew Edomites, okay, of their method, and the first hour of the day is 6 a.m. to Western understanding, to Gregorian calendar, however you want to look at it. Okay, so that's now you know that. Okay. So now let's get verse 46. Well, we'll just phrase it up. Verse 46 to 50 is his death, right? Which you can actually, if you want, you can read verse 50.
Verse 50. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
Right.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent.
Right. So now read verse 54.
Verse 54. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watched Yahushua, saw the earthquake, and rolled and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of the Most High.
Yeah. Now they believe.
Right.
Right. Some pricks, man.
Think about all the people they crucified, right?
Right. Wrongfully.
Over
dumb shit. They were gonna kill Joseph. They were gonna kill Yahushua's physical father, Joseph. Right. That's why he said. That's why he fled into Egypt, because he got Mary pregnant at a young age and didn't pay the shekels, didn't do the ceremony, right? Didn't do the law. He's like, these people are so fucking so high and mighty, so pious, right? so wickedly pious that they'll kill both of us, man. And I, and he got her pregnant. So he's like, I'm not gonna let them kill three of us. So they fled into Egypt, man.
Yeah. Like them centurions, man, the Romans.
Hmm.
All the people they crucified and killed. I guarantee nothing ever, graves being open and an earthquake,
Yep.
none of that ever happened. But this one man
Right.
that was truly innocent, and they knew
They knew he didn't do nothing.
Esau gets a kick out of killing something innocent, putting an innocent
Right.
person to death, which there's no one innocent according to the scriptures. We've all fallen short of glory, so on and so forth, brother, paraphrasing. But this truly innocent man
Yep.
gets put to death, and you got utter chaos that happens in the earth, man.
Yeah. And you see how they put his accusation. It said King of the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they did that for everyone? Put their accusation: adulterer,
Right.
thief,
Right.
defrauder, Bakar the defrauder.
Right.
You know, Ranch Snowballs the adulterer.
Adultery.
You know, Batak the bug out. You know, Zadok the adulterous thief.
Right.
Right.
The adulterous leprechaun.
The adulterous leprechaun. Right. Right. You know, they put their accusation so you know. You know,
Zabak has been charged with
right.
casting magic spells with his shahidi.
With the shahidi, right?
You
And they did that even in you know, medieval period where they put people out in the wooden yoke and they'd be standing there with their hands and their head out, and they would put something to say, oh, this guy owes the king, or if you owed tax money to the king, they would even then call you a thief, and they'd put you in that shit, right?
in the
And
movie
everyone
Robin
knew
Hood.
in the movie. I was gonna get there. The movie Robin Hood. Like, go ahead, talk about it. Yep.
No, just in the movie Robin Hood with
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, you know, him and some other people was you know, in the
Yeah, Little John was with them.
yeah, I forget what it's called, the mechanism.
They're in the yoke, you know.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a type of yoke.
The pre-guillotine, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and they were there because they were, you know, they said something against the king.
Yeah.
You know, they basically mocked the king. So they were there for mocking the king.
Right.
You know, so your crimes were always known, man. It wasn't just, oh, we're gonna take him out there. No one's gonna know what he did.
Right.
Because according to our custom, them that sin, you rebuke before all.
So the others may fear.
Right, so that others may fear. You gotta make an example of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's get verse 57. Okay, we're gonna start getting into these words. It's a lot.
Verse 57. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Yahushua's disciple.
Right. Okay. Now it said in the evening, which that word there is a Greek 3798. Right. What verse are we on?
57.
Okay, so verse 57. Evening. Even 3798. So we pulled it up. Greek 3798. Okay. It says late evening, either from 3 to 6 o'clock p.m. From 6 o'clock p.m. to the beginning of night at sundown.
Yeah.
So what did Joseph of Arimathea do? What did we read that he did? He, well, let's read it. Verse 58.
Verse 58. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahushua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered.
Yep, keep going.
And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Mary Magdalene.
Okay, so let's do a recap. So we had the day of preparation, the night of the Passover,
Right.
the morning and day of his trial and crucifixion.
Right.
Now the night that his body comes down,
The evening.
right? The evening. Okay, let's keep going.
And departed. Verse 61. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day.
Now the next day, evening. Well,
night. So
this would be right, because the evening when
that's when he took the body down.
that's when the body came down.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Now the next day, that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remembered that the
Oh,
deceiver said,
Salat. Let's stop there at verse 62 real quick. It said, now the next day that followed the day of preparation. What is the day of preparation? The day before the Sabbath. So we just calculated it. We used our fingers and toes, right?
Mhm.
Okay, let's get John 19 and 31. Oh, Salat. Mark 15 and 42. Let's get Mark 15 and 42. Let's stop there. Um, where's it at? Mark 15 and 42. Okay. Um, well, actually, we expounded on this, right? Yeah, we
15,
did. We did expound on this. Okay. Well, with that, because the day, select. Bear with me. Bear with us. It said now the next day that followed the day of preparation, which was that was the Sabbath, right? Let's get John 19 and 31. Okay. Um,
John 19 and 31. The Jews, therefore, because it was a preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day,
oh, keep going.
for that Sabbath day was a high day,
So
a high holy day.
So really, they did kill him on the Sabbath.
Right.
They didn't kill him the Sabbath, the evening of the Sabbath,
Right.
the day or that time of the Sabbath.
But that 24-hour
But within
time
that
period,
24-hour
window.
time period, they killed him. And then what did they say about it when they did it? They said, "Let his blood be upon
on
us
and our children."
and their children." So they're saying, "Look,
They put it on their kids.
right."
Ain't that some junky shit?
That's a
That's-
good.
Yeah.
I could have said it better myself. Go ahead.
Uh,
Well, that was verse 31, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Still a little bit more.
Okay, select.
Besought Pilate, and their legs might be broken. I'll read that from top. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was an high day, besought Pilate.
Which, recap, that day was the 14th,
Mm-hmm.
right? That night, that evening was the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the 14th day of the first month, our Yava.
Right.
Okay? So it didn't say Monday, Wednesday, and none of that. It didn't say Wednesday, right? Because that's what this 14th Israelite said at the end of his 20-minute video. He said it was Wednesday to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahushua and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs.
Right. So they left his body whole. So from that, let's get the law. Let's get Deuteronomy, right? What is it? Deuteronomy
23.
21 and 23. So like Deuteronomy 21 and 20. Are we going back to this John? Later. Okay.
Deuteronomy
Go ahead. You got it.
21 and 23. His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day.
Right. And it said, him who you've slain and hung on the tree from Acts, right? Because it's saying, oh, he was crucified. Well, it's the same. It's the same difference. Hanging him on the tree, killing him on a piece of tree on a timber. It's the same thing. Okay, that's why it says it in the book of Acts. Go ahead.
And he that is hanged is a curse of the Most High.
Right. So they didn't know. So obviously, you get some dickweed to say, oh, they didn't know what they were doing because he was crucified, not hung on a tree. Well, then why did it say in John 19, right, and 31, that they knew they had to take his body down?
Mm-hmm.
Why did Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple, who was taught of Yahweh, how did he know that law to take it down? Right? So it goes back to understand the New Testament. Really, you need to understand the Old Testament.
Because that's the foundation, man.
That's a strong foundation.
The scriptures say that the law is the schoolmaster.
Yep.
You know, so how can you
How can you understand the Passover or the Sabbath if you don't understand the Passover? If you don't understand when the first month is,
Right.
when the new moon is,
How can you know the future without the past?
right? You
You know?
can't tell the future unless you know the past.